Happy Saturday, friends, family, patients. Love you guys, man. We're just going strong still. I know that the governor put a shutdown on North Carolina. Charlotte went shut down the other day too. So Mecklenburg County. Just so you guys know, we're still deemed essential. Really, just trying to keep people healthy and strong. Keep people away from the hospitals and doctors' offices. Yes, with the normal neck pain, back pain, sickness, disease, all those type of things. But we're also trying to keep and make sure that we maintain a healthy and strong body and make sure that the body's healing at the best and highest level that it possibly can be. So here's your update. Same as usual, Monday, we'll be there 7 a.m. To 9:30's last appointments. And then also we'll be there in the afternoon from 3 to 6. Also just a little bit of word information for your friends, family members, neighbors. Immune health workshop is going to be on Monday at 7:30 p.m. So make sure you guys tune in. Maybe make sure you guys even do a watch party or send some of your friends, family members the link afterwards or during. We're going to get some opportunities out there. I'm actually going to, at the end of this, after I give some updates here, I'm actually going to go through the immune system. And I'm going to talk about how the body works and what makes somebody strong, what makes somebody weak. I'm also going to give some opportunities. The big question I keep getting asked on a regular basis is people are asking me, what supplements are you recommending right now and why? And so I'm going to go through that here in a little bit, but I just want to make sure that patients, you guys keep staying strong, keep showing up. We had the majority of you guys still coming in this last week. We still only saw maybe like a 20% drop of people. So I love you guys. Keep pushing. Some of you guys are still worried about going outside. Some of you guys are worried about this lockdown. You can still go out to the grocery store. You can still go out to essential services. The guys that I talked to today said the gun shops, the tobacco places, and the alcohol places, ABC stores are still open. I don't know why. I guess taxes and because the government actually owns ABC stores, I guess those are essential. But chiropractors are still essential. So until they tell us not, we're going to be open and I'll be adjusting away. And so love you guys, want to help some of you guys. I'm getting some people actually that are coming out of the woodworks that maybe haven't been in a while. We're starting to see a lot of people, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later here in the video. We're seeing a lot of people coming in because you've changed your work habits. You're not working at the office anymore in your ergonomic chair. You're not working with your ergonomic desk or your stand-up desk. So people are working from their kitchen at home on the kitchen table, and there's becoming some issues and problems with those things. A lot of extra stress right now. What you guys know, we talk about this constantly in our office, is what causes stress to the spine and the nerve system. What causes the spine to go bad? We call it the 3 T's. Traumas, thoughts, and toxins. Traumas are physical things, slips and falls, car accidents, sitting at, instead of sitting at work, sitting at your table in your kitchen. Those are physical traumas. Then you also got emotional stress. I know that really none of us right now have emotional stress, right? That's sarcasm, by the way. I can't even get a haircut right now, so that's why I've been wearing hats. Not that I have a lot up there anyway. But yeah, so there's emotional stress right now. Then there's uncertainty. There's a lot of that stuff just causes a lot of stress into our body and our spine and our nerve system. And so that's real deal right now. And then you have chemical stress. Some of you guys have changed your eating patterns. Some of you guys have been exposed to different stuff differently now, eating differently, maybe exercising differently as well. So there's a lot of things that are going on right now. So I want to just share with you guys a few slides today and kind of share with you about how to build your immune system. So this is I just kind of like going through this in this way. I do want to let you guys know, if you guys have been wondering what type of things, supplements to take, I'm not a big take supplements to cure anything, because I don't believe supplements cure anything, because you can put supplements in a dead person and it does nothing. But what supplements do is they'll actually support your body with the nutrients it needs so the body can heal itself. And so people ask all the time right now, what can I take to help boost my immune system? And so we actually have an immune bundle right now that I'm going to talk a lot more about on Monday at the immune workshop class. But if you want to know more about what the immune bundle is, if you just text this word immune to this phone number, it'll actually bring up our store and it'll show you the 5 main things that I'm recommending right now. And once you get those 5 things, you can see it on there. Just because you text this does not mean you're buying it. It'll just take you to our store and you can read up on all the things that I'm recommending. And if you can get those things other places, great, go ahead. But this is a great opportunity for you to do a bundle, and we actually reduced the price down for you guys if you're listening to this, and also on Monday. So just text that word immune if you want to know, what am I recommending right now? What are the great supplements that Max Living has to offer as well? So that stuff's out there. And so if you want to just know a little bit more about that, you can go ahead and go to text immune to that phone number, 704-540-0055. So I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. I want to take you guys through some of the PowerPoint that I put together as far as building your immune system and how the body actually works from a health and healing standpoint. And so if you look at this, and this is what I love about this more than anything else, is that when you look at the body and how the body actually works, is that there's no shortcuts. It takes time to create a better, stronger version of you. It's not that you can just do something magical today and hope for something better tomorrow. That's not how it works. And so you've got to realize is that it takes time. If you've messed up, there's still a lot of grace, no doubt about it. But if you've messed up, it's okay. It's okay, because you can get that back again. Okay, you can get that back again, but it takes time. If you messed up for a long time, it does take time to get it back again. And so just remember that there are no shortcuts along the way. Here's the one thing that I do love, is that Dr. Palmer, the guy that founded chiropractic, some of you guys have heard me tell the story over and over again. I love this because he talked about how he desired to know why one person was ailing and his associate eating at the same table, working in the same shop, at the same bench, wasn't sick. What was the difference between these two persons that caused one to have various diseases while his partner escaped it and didn't have any disease? And this is kind of the age-old question I kept asking over and over again, growing up and seeing people sick. I mean, I see people, and you guys probably know people that come into the office or that you work with at your office or at church or whatever, and you're like, man, that person eats way worse than I do. They exercise way less than I do, but yet they have no diabetes, no cancer, no heart disease, no diet, and none of that stuff. And you start to ask that question, you're like, why in the world is it happening to this person or that person? What's really happening there? And so you start to ask those questions along the way, and that's what Dr. Palmer was asking years ago. And so really what it comes down to more than anything else, it really comes down to your environment. And your environment is everything. And I always love this question. If you guys have been to some of my classes, you've heard me say this before as well. You've heard me talk about this before. And the one thing that I ask is that my grandpa had this farm. He still has the farm. He's 95 years old. He's in a nursing home now, unfortunately, but he's lived a great, awesome, long life. And grandma passed away a couple years ago, but grandpa was still farming until like 88 years old. I mean, he was still going until about 7 years ago. And at one point in time, I remember getting excited, always driving to grandpa's house, and you'd see this road down the middle, and there was green pastures on both sides. There'd be corn on one side, there'd be soybeans on the other side, and sometimes there was grass or whatever it was on one side. But at one point in time, I remember the city of Chicago was trying to buy land right around where the farm was. And they were going to bring down garbage from Chicago and start dumping on this land. And essentially what was going to happen is on one side of the road, there was going to be the green crops or the grass or the green pasture or whatever he was going to put in that year. And then on the other side was going to be the garbage that they were bringing down from Chicago. And you guys all know what happens is you start dumping garbage on one side, it's going to start to attract the rodents, the maggots, the flies. Sorry if you're eating. It's going to start to attract these things. And what's going to end up happening is the buzzards are going to come and all this stuff, and it's going to smell and it's going to reek and all this kind of stuff. And it's just going to keep attracting more. As long as there's something for that to feed on, as long as there's an environment for that to feed on, it will come and destroy that. And so even if these maggots and flies and buzzards and rodents and all that kind of stuff, even if they wandered across the road there and went over to the green pasture that you see on your screen on the left-hand side, if they wandered over there, the key is that they would find nothing for them to be in there. They would find nothing and no reason for them to be over there because there's nothing for them to eat or live off of there. And that's what the environment inside of your body's like. That the germ theory is such an old debunked theory, and it's such a ridiculous theory. And that they've created this theory that we're all scared to death right now, locked down in our houses, thinking that this bug is going to overtake us, and it's not true. that really what it comes down to is that the health of your own body from the inside, that's the key. That's what's crucial on the inside, is that you've got to start to clean up that environment. If your inside of your body and your health looks like this, then you've got to start to clean it up. And how do you clean it up? We're going to talk about that on Monday night. And I want to walk you guys through that to get to that point where you have that green pasture again is what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to constantly get you to, is back to that green pasture and getting you to where the body's back healing and functioning the way that it's supposed to again. So if you're just tuning in, if you've not seen this before, heard us before, we are doing a class, an immune class on Monday. I'll put the banner down at the bottom here. It's going to be a lot more of what you're hearing right now. But one of the things I want to let you guys know is that this is just about getting you healthy from the inside. I'm not going to talk about any drugs, any medications, any vaccines. I might talk a little bit about it, obviously. But what we're going to talk about is how do you get strong from the inside? How do we get you strong from the inside? And that's what that's all about. And those of you that were just tuning in as well, or you guys wondered how can you find out more, maybe some of the supplements you guys can take, text the word immune to the number that you see on the screen, 704-540-0055. Now, some of you guys are wondering, hey, look, during this time, I have more time right now. Some of you guys are patients. Some of you guys are older patients that haven't been in a long time. Some of you guys that are patients that are still staying home, you know what? We've made a safe environment, as safe as we could possibly make it. If you're not comfortable coming when other people are there, we will shut down the office so you guys can be there, or you can come after hours, or I'll stop by your house. If you're an older patient, if I hadn't seen you in a while, all you need to do, or if you're a new patient, if you're somebody that just says, hey, look, I'm looking for a chiropractor right now. I'm looking for somebody that's going to lead my family. What you're talking about right now, we have openings right now. And so if that's you, if you want to know how can I get a consult, an exam, x-rays, and a consult with the doctors in my office, typically it can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We're doing it for $60 this week. All you need to do is type the word consult to 704-540-0055. And what we'll do is we'll actually be able to help you guys start to get lined up for an appointment. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's for your whole family. We just love to be able to pour out to people right now. Again, so I actually want to go into this story a little bit because you guys are going to love this. This is actually a story of Masha and Dasha, and I'm going to probably talk a little bit more about that on Monday night. But I love this. It's kind of a sad story, but it's kind of a fascinating story to me. That what I saw is that Masha and Dasha were Siamese twins. I believe it was Russia. I haven't read the story in a little bit. I'll get sharpened up for it for Monday night. But here's what was fascinating to me is that they had shared a lot of organs. You can see the picture of them. They were Siamese twins, and they shared a lot of things. The thing that was separate on them is they had separate nerve systems. Their brain and spinal cord was different. They shared the same blood. But the fascinating thing is that one of the kids actually was sick more frequently than the other one. And actually the one that smoked and drank more, that when they got a little bit older, not when they were kids, but the one that smoked and drank more when they were older, she was actually the one that didn't get sick as much. And what they started, as they started studying this, they actually told the parents that when the kids were born, they said that the babies died in birth. Such a crazy, sad story. But here's what ended up happening is they said the babies died and they took them off and they started doing all these research things on them, and they raised them in this research scientific laboratory, and which is such a sad thing. But they found out a lot of things about this. Not that I'm condoning that by no means. But here's what was fascinating to me is that they found that the one that had healthier body was the one that if you took x-rays on them, their spine was more straight up and down. And that's what I want you guys to take from this. I'm going to dive in this a little bit deeper for you guys right now. Is that, of course, I'm a chiropractor. So one of our 5 essentials in our office is how do we clean up the body? How do we make your body healthier and stronger? Well, in Max Living offices, we talk about the 5 essentials. Number 1 is mind. And I kind of lump into mind, living in the fruit of the spirit, and living with a positive, grateful attitude, your mindset, God. That's what number 1 is for me. Number 2 is chiropractic. Number 3 is nutrition. Number 4 is exercise. And number 5 is detox. I'll go through a little bit of those things on Monday. But what I want to share with you guys right now, and this is huge, if you've been working from home, if you're having lots of problems, symptoms, with your back, your body, everything else that comes in between. Chiropractic at its core is crucial for the body to be able to heal and do what it's supposed to do. And so you've got to understand that the main key, I don't care, yes, you need to eat better. Yes, you need to exercise better. You need all those things. But the one thing that you cannot short yourself on is, how is the brain communicating to the body? The brain controls everything. It controls all functions. It controls all healing. The brain and the nerve system controls the heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, stomach, immune system, every cell in your body. And actually research is now showing that it's controlling even more than that. It affects your sleep and your focus, your energy. It controls so many things. And see, my slides here not showing up the way it's supposed to. Some of the scientific studies that are coming out right now is that the brain, the scientific study of the brain, neurotransmitters, and other aspects of human biology that influence behaviors, thoughts, and feelings. Probably the number one thing I see when patients come into my office these days is that when they get adjusted, they might come in for headaches, neck pain, or back pain. But the thing that they tell me that they see the best changes with more than anything else is they go home and they say, oh my gosh, I thought clearer. I slept better. I had more focus. I had more energy. And this is because the connection between the spinal cord and the spinal cord and the brain function, and how the body and the brain communicates and works together. So when you look at the spine, this is huge, is that when you look at the spine straight on, it's supposed to be perfectly straight up and down. If you look at it from the side, it's supposed to have these nice curves in it. And it's actually for strength. Anytime that you go away from those directions that they're supposed to be in, that becomes a problem and an issue. And so if you start to look at the spine moving forward, especially with this thing called forward head syndrome, they call it forward head posture, granny posture, they call it tech neck, all these things these days. That incorrect forward head posture, it puts up to 30 pounds of abnormal leverage to the spine, to the cervical spine, and it affects the rest of the body all the way down. And it affects the nerve system the rest of the way down. And so this is crucial. And this is what we're seeing with people that are working at home more, on their phones more, on social media more. Okay. So I know that we're on it's kind of funny, ironic that I'm saying we're on social media more and I'm posting from social media. It's kind of funny. But sitting, you want to make sure in your workspace that you're sitting up as straight as you possibly can. You want to make sure that your monitor is up or level above your eyes even. I know this thing here saying that the monitor needs to be, no, you need it up as high as you possibly can. So if you're having problems or tension, make sure that you're moving this stuff up in your office, or at your home office, I should say right now. And we're starting to see that sitting posture is starting to affect more and more people. And so a lot of you guys out there are wondering like, man, what do I do right now? I have a lot of aches and pains. My body's just not well. It's more than likely coming from this nerve system. If the brain and spinal cord of the nerve system have structural or functional issues right now, this is a time that you can address it. And a lot of people that came to me before in the past are like, man, I just don't know if I have the time right now. Well, guess what? Everybody has the time right now. There's zero excuses. And so what you can do is, again, like I said before, be more than happy to help you guys out. If you guys want to come get checked up in the office, just text the word consult to this number, 704-540-0055. And we're doing exam, consultation, x-rays if they're necessary for $60 to see if we can do anything to help you out. Now, my whole goal in this is that if you have a problem, a structural functional issue in your nerve system that's affecting the health of your body, we want to make sure that we get it corrected now. That way you don't have more sickness, disease, problems, or it doesn't get worse. And you don't end up having to go and clog up these hospitals and emergency rooms and everything else that they're saying are overfilled and have too many people in it, which I'm not exactly sure about, because I've had 3 people send me pictures of ER rooms in the last couple days, and they've been bare and empty. I've had friends that have had fevers and some of the symptoms of coronavirus, and they call in and they say, just stay home. So not getting into conspiracy right now, but just know if we want to keep those things clear and keep the healthcare workers out doing what they need to do, let's get you healthy from the inside. That's what these consults do in our office. We can help you guys out. If you want to know more, just text that. You can see there, that's a picture of a lower back here. Let me take this off here so you can see it a little better. You can actually see that these are the nerves in here. And that the spacing that they come out between the bones are the hardest material in your body. That if this nerve right here, let's say it goes to your kidney. If I cut this nerve to your kidney is going to shut down. Now, we don't see cut nerves. What we see are pinched or choked nerves. And so when the spine moves out of its alignment or becomes stressed from sitting in bad postures, whatever else it is, it can start to, now the spacing in here, typically, just so you guys know, the spacing in here has all kinds of fat tissue, muscles, ligaments, tendons. So it's usually not this open. It's pretty tight in there. That if it starts to move out of its alignment, it starts to release and it causes issues with the neurotransmitters, which is the way that it communicates. And it can start to affect and cause things like aches and pains and problems along the way in there as well. So that's the best thing for us to be able to do is see, hey, is there any kind of pressure that you have on your spine and nerve system? If it is there anything that we can do for you? Now, some of the warning signs that you might have, now I'm not a big fan of taking all these symptoms. We don't treat people for these symptoms in our office. In fact, if you guys have been to us before, you guys know us before, have been, you guys know that we don't treat anything. In fact, years ago on my radio station, it was funny because the manager got called in and said, hey, this guy on the radio, he keeps claiming that he heals everything. And I go, let's go back and listen to the tape. And we went back and listened to the tape, and the guy said, oh my gosh. He goes, you don't say that you heal anything. He goes, and basically what I do say is that we help your body get to a spot where your body can heal the way that God designed your body. That's what we're trying to do, is get your body, remove the interference and let your body do its own healing. That if you have symptoms like these are warning signals or symptoms that your body's trying to tell you that something's not right from the inside. And so if you take a pain pill, if you take a Tylenol, an aspirin, if you take birth control for menstrual problems, if you take high blood pressure pills for blood pressure, those are only hiding your symptoms. They're not fixing your actual problem. They're just actually hiding the symptoms in there in the first place. That's all they're really doing. And so what we're trying to do is get you to a spot where you can heal from the inside the way that your body was designed, from the way that it was designed, the way that God created it. That's it. Last one. And I just want to this is kind of a soapbox moment, but I want you guys to know these things. And this is important. If you've listened this long, then you're in. Okay. So this is fascinating to me. And I just kind of want to say this as a warning, because as we hear these reports coming out, and the people that were speaking these things and this fear into our worlds in the last 3 weeks, especially, you've got to always question who's saying it and what do they have to prosper on this thing. And when you see these guys talking and making these bold predictions that 2.2 million people are going to die in the United States because of coronavirus, and then they downgrade it to less than 100,000, you got to start to look at where is the money going. And I'm not getting angry here, but I do get a little frustrated with this, that when you start to think that, oh, we're gonna find the drugs, we're gonna find the vaccine for this, we're gonna overcome these things. It's like, yeah, you know what? You don't, if you guys listened to me yesterday, I said, you don't mess with that bell curve. That bell curve is what it is. And what happens is when you mess with God-made intelligence, our bodies were built with the immune system inside of it. When you mess with that and you try to fool it, you get what we call unintended consequences. And so if you guys look at that first picture on the left there, that's thalidomide. And if you know what that is, then more than likely you're probably a little bit older. You're more than likely a boomer. Okay, boomer. And so what happens is if you're a boomer, you remember back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, for mothers with problems with morning sickness, pregnant moms with morning sickness, they used to give them this drug called thalidomide. And they found out that it helped in the first trimester. It would actually help get rid of the symptoms of morning sickness. And they're like, oh my gosh, this drug is genius. We found the cure. This is awesome. And what they found with the unintended consequences, when you mess with God-made intelligence, right? The intelligence that he put inside of our body. Listen, I know it's probably not fun. My wife went through it with babies to have morning sickness. But when you stop it or change the chemistry of the body to make it feel better, there is unintended consequences. And these babies, if you look at the picture, if you could see it, they were actually born with what they called flipper babies. They were called flipper babies. And so those flipper babies were born without arms and some of them without legs. And because what happened is the thalidomide interrupted the growth of the nerve system at the time of development of the bodies. And then, of course, on the right-hand side, you got the Gulf War syndrome babies, things that were the soldiers were put in their bodies from the vaccines, the chemical warfare, all that kind of stuff. That what happens is when you mess with God-made intelligence, it makes a big deal. It makes a big difference. And so, again, I'm glad if you listen this far, love every single one of you. I'm glad you're here. One of the things I want to remind you of, we do have the immune workshop on Monday. If you made it this far, those of you that are wondering about the bundles that we're selling right now or any of the supplements that we might have that support your body for healing itself, again, these supplements do not create an immune system. Your body creates its own immune system. It just needs the raw materials to be able to do it. Go ahead, if you want to know what that bundle is or what the supplements are, maybe you can get it yourself. Maybe you can get it at Vitamin Shop. I don't know if it's open. But if you do this and you can order from our store, you can have it delivered directly to your house without having to leave. And so if you want that, just text the word immune to this number. It'll actually send you a link to go to our store, and you can actually look at the immune bundle, but you can also actually go through some other stuff and look at some of the other supplements that we have if you need stuff delivered to your door. The only thing I don't have on our store is toilet paper, so sorry about that. Those of you that have been out there wondering about how to come into the office, or if you have a friend or family member that you've been trying to get in the office and this is a perfect time for them, just have them text consult to the office and they'll get back with you. I don't know if they're going to get back with you today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, but we'll get you in and we'll see what we can do to help the friends and family members out as well. So love you guys. Have a blessed day. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.